You're listening to Why Germany podcast, the best place for relocation stories and expert tips, sponsored by Over the Offek, relocation agency to Germany, with your host, Eden Levine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eden Levine, and with me is Mari Vass. Thank you so much for coming.
No, well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you're on the podcast Why Germany, so I think it's only appropriate to ask you, why Germany?
I wanted some change. I'm from Brazil, so I lived my entire life there, and I wanted some change. And also, I decided to pursue my creative career. I'm a photographer, and then I've been in Berlin before. I live in Berlin since 2017, and I'm in 2008, and then from there, like, everything just combined, and like, yeah, it makes sense to try. Why not? Why not try and going to Germany to see if it works or not? So basically, I decided to come because I had a connection with Berlin, and I also have family here, and I want an adventure, and also I'm a creative, so I think Berlin is a great place to be if you want to pursue this path,
This
this creative
artistic
path.
side of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, me and Marivas, we spoke before, and we discovered that basically we have a completely different story of how we even thought about the whole relocation part. So, Marivas, can you take us back and maybe go step by step? How did you even end up here, and how did it go for you? Start from the very beginning. You came from Brazil. Yeah, tell us the whole story.
Yes. I back in 2017, actually back in 2016, when I decided to move. As I said, I was living in Brasilia, and I was quite lost. And when I decided to move, so a sequence of events happened. So yeah, it's a different story compared to yours, because I didn't plan much at all. So yeah, so I managed to get like a scholarship. I found a school here to keep studying photography, and I sold everything I had in Brazil. Sold my cars. I didn't have much, but so with the scholarship and with the stuff that I sold, I could manage to come to Germany and start from there. So, and of course, I had also the help from my family. I can't forget about that. And so I came to study at first for 6 months, and the plan was already like to stay. That I was gonna finish the school, and somehow I would find a way to stay. So from there, I started looking for information on visas and what was necessary to keep living here. So yeah, so first I came. I didn't have a place to stay at first, so I stayed for a month in a friend's apartment. She was really kind and to offer me this, and from there I started looking for an apartment, like a room, because it's not easy to find an apartment at first, if you don't have someone helping you, like a relocation service or something similar, right? And so I had to do basically everything on my own, and I also had the help with from the community and my friends, and also internet googling. I googled a lot, like to find the necessary information, Facebook. So it was like a bunch of different things that I did. Yes.
Great. How do you say that you are you now integrated in Berlin? Do you feel now part of the community? And what helped you to make this integration?
Well, after almost 7 years, I can say nowadays that I feel more integrated, definitely. And I think for me, what integration means is feeling at home, or and understanding how the system works, understanding the language. I also forgot to mention that I studied German after my arrival. So now I can say that I understand better how things happen here. So that makes me feel more integrated, definitely. But I think this is like a long process. I think we go through many phases until we feel completely at home. If that happens, if that ever happens, I'm not sure. It's just a matter of becoming more comfortable, and it takes time. Yeah.
Right. And you asked me which community. So which community do you mean?
I'm Brazilian, so the first community is the Brazilian community, which
Is there a big one here in Berlin?
yes, it's becoming, it's growing. I have the impression that in the past years it has become more and more like bigger, and this is one community, but also the photographers. I mean, there's like the photographers I met at the school, for example, and the friends that I made at German school. My friends, like I have also friends from Brazil that live here, like that I knew before moving to Berlin. So it's the community. I mean, I believe it comes from different little communities that when you put together, then it becomes a bigger group, a bigger community, I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have different parts of our personality, right? So we find those communities that match or that they complement these personality traits, and you're looking for them if it's the community you grew up with. So you say like from Brazil, or like your hobbies and your interests. It's really helpful to have these kind of communities, especially when you are planning on integrating really more deeply where you are.
Yes, exactly. I mean, before moving, I didn't know I didn't have I didn't have the notion that it was so important to know your interests, to know what you like, what you don't. That helps a lot, like to create community. So like it's really important. Yeah.
You said that you had some help from your family, right? Tell me how was it for them that you're like, okay, I'm going to Berlin to an unforeseen future. So how was it for them?
Actually, they were very supportive. My mom, she said she always says that she wants to see me happy. So she supported me. My father as well. My friends, they said, go for it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um we're not that super attached. I mean, this is pretty common in Brazil, like to be super attached to your family, but I think I'm a different case. My
okay.
family is more like, okay, go do your own stuff, and yeah, they were pretty supportive. Which is,
Have they visited already and checked out on you?
yeah, no, unfortunately not because of health issues and stuff, but I hope so. It's like soon they will come.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I mean, they would see that they have a lot of other people from Brazil coming as well, and might even
Yes.
feel a bit at home, even away from home.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason we mentioned that you and I had a very different kind of relocation story is because when I came to Germany, we first had a whole idea of elimination, we had the whole Europe map in front of us, started deciding, okay, do we want to Finland? Do we want to go to Spain? Do we want here? Do we want, and when you told me your story, it sounded right like you're, okay, I have a friend in Berlin, let's go there, packing my bags and basically leaving. So tell me how do you feel comfortable with this kind of I'm not gonna call it a rational decision, but kind of like, very quick from the decision to the actual practical move, what gave you basically this power and gut and you know, this courage to do this kind of very, very big move?
I was having like a hard time. Basically, I was having like an anxiety and I was kind of lost, and I felt like I had to do something, like to change completely to create a different outcome. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, you were so brave to have to make to have made this decision," da da da, and I usually answer, I think it was more like a survival move, because I was basically suffering where I was. So the move, like this big change, was actually an attempt to to find myself again, to come back to myself again, and it felt right to do it. So this feeling of this is the way gave me the strength and the courage to do it.
And looking back, do you think this was a good decision, a bad decision? Would you change anything?
I don't regret anything.
That's great.
I mean, it's hard, of course. You have the challenges. You have many things to deal with, but it's worth every penny for me, at least. I don't regret, because I'm a person that loves learning about new cultures, people, everything. So I need to be in environments that allow me to continuously learn, you know, like allow me to learn. And so yeah, I don't regret at all.
You don't regret.
Yeah, no.
Would you have changed anything in your process if you could do it again?
I would have planned a little bit more. I think money wise, I would have saved more money, or yeah, I would have find a way to have more money on my on my account, so I could feel more stable. Yeah.
It is a brave kind of move, right? Because it's something you're saying, I'm leaving everything I know behind and I'm coming to the unknown. For you, it was really an unknown, right? Like there was not a lot to know about this. But I need this change. And we talked about it, and I wrote to myself that you said, I need some change. It was like a major part of it. But then you said, things didn't work as fast as you thought it would. So tell me about this.
Well, because, you know, when you arrive, you just feel like, okay, everything is gonna work out. I'm gonna find my way super easy, super quick. I'm gonna, this is kind of like magical thinking, but it's not like that, because you have to adapt. You have to, you know, understand how things work. You have to deal with bureaucracy and many things. And I think, of course, it varies from personality, but for me, I need really to understand what's going on, so that takes time. So it was a little bit frustrating, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna arrive, and then things are gonna start happening, and it wasn't like that, of course. No, because I had, for example, with my visa, I didn't have the working visa. I now have it, so I couldn't work as a photographer before. So I had to find ways to get money, and also work inside the rules, so to speak. And you know, so you have to have a lot to juggle. It's not you come and you do whatever. No, especially in Germany, that's not really what happens. You can't just arrive and do whatever you want, and no. So yeah.
And I mean, here there are many rules that you need to know and to work by, especially when it comes to bureaucracy. So I think in that regard, it can definitely help to be aware and to know what is it you're going in for.
Yes,
and
yes.
One of the things that are very remarkable, but by a lot of people, is the speed, like you mentioned. Like it takes much longer, and sometimes you need to kind of like have a good breath, a deep breath, and to wait for something to happen. And it's sometimes very challenging.
Yes.
And you came there to Berlin to pursue the photography career. Tell me if it matched what you had in mind when it comes to this area.
No.
No.
No. Like, to be honest, I didn't know much about the market here. It's also a matter like of understanding what you want to do. I knew I wanted to pursue a career, like a career as a creative, as a photographer. But of course, you need to do a lot of internal research. Like, okay, you have many possibilities, so you have to understand which one fits you best, or you want more. But for that, you need to go with the flow. You need to work on things that you don't necessarily like, for example, because of money, to get to know people, to create your network and stuff like that. And many things I didn't know, like the business part of things. For example, even though I was a freelancer before, I've been freelancing for 10 years now, and even in Germany for almost 7. So even though I didn't have the foundations to do how to do business, and that's really important. So it's also something that I needed to catch up. So learn what's important. So it became a whole process. But let's say that now I am more clear in the direction I want to go. But as I said, it takes time.
Of
It
course,
took a lot of time.
Yeah, of course.
Are you considering relocation to Germany? Visit us now at www.overtheoffic.com and schedule a call with us right now.
Yes.
But you mentioned that Berlin is matching the artistic vibe that you were looking for, right? Tell me about this. What is it in Berlin that is helping you with your artistic personality?
I think here the sensation is you have space to breathe. That means when you breathe, for example, you have space. When you open up space, you open space for inspiration to come. You get inspired by the city, by the people you meet, especially the people you meet, because I can say like everyone you meet here, like at least in my experience, everyone has like a great story to tell. Very super interesting people, not only connected to photography, but everyone came here for a reason. That's really inspiring, and also the background that Berlin has, like the music scene, for example, like all the artists that came here, David Bowie, Depeche Mode, and because I love this musical style, I connect very much with it. So it's really inspired to know that also that people you admire, your idols, they lived here. So you it's a bunch of different things, and also the amount of events that happen, parties. So it's really rich. You breathe that day by day, and that starts to grow inside of you, and then you start to have, okay, this is really inspiring. What can I extract from that, and apply into my life, into my art? It's beautiful.
Wow, it is.
It's really nice.
I completely connect with what you mentioned about the music part, because this is the one thing that really drew me to Germany and also to Leipzig, actually, because Leipzig is considered the music city of Germany, because Bach is buried here and we have Mendelssohn. And I even discovered that the first recording studio was here in Leipzig. From whole Europe. So it's really interesting.
Really?
Yeah. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many music festivals here, and there's so many artists like you mentioned that are coming to Germany. For me, was to Leipzig. For me, what was the most exciting that I had was Rammstein. When Rammstein were here and not in Berlin, we're like, oh wow, And
Nice.
I saw Queen in Berlin, and I was really happy to know that you can get very quickly and without too much effort to see these like really big artists, and it's amazing to know it exists, and it's really great to know that it's helping also to artists to get this inspiration and being absorbed. And it's important. And especially if you're coming to Berlin, you're saying, this is my dream, right? It's like we joked about this. It's not the American dream, it's the Germany dream. It's like
Yes.
yeah. So it's something that for all of the listeners who are listening and thinking about their artistic, it doesn't have to be a career. It can also be a hobby, but you want to be surrounded, and you want to have, like we talked, a community that you can share those hobbies and interests together, and learn from each other, and you can grow with it. And I think this kind of community is really helpful, and it exists in many, many parts of Germany. So I'm really happy that you found it in Berlin. And I would like to ask you also, is there something that you're actually missing, that you miss from home, or something that you wish that you had?
Yes. The sense of community.
Oh.
Okay, I need to explain that. I mean, Brazil is a very warm country. People are really open to connect. And I didn't know before moving to Berlin that I was this kind of person. Yeah, I have a more like introspective personality. But I have my moments. Of course, I like to talk to people, and also, but the support. I think more in the sense of support. I think in Brazil it's easier to find support even from people that you don't know that well.
Really?
And I think here it's kind of hard to find that. It takes longer,
Right.
So I think I miss this feeling of getting support easily from people around you. I don't find it easy here, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. Still, I think this is cultural. I think Germany, from my impression, my point of view, I think Germany or Europe, if you wish, is kind of more like have more like individualistic culture or mentality. It's okay. It's not. I'm not judging as bad or as wrong. It's just different. And from this cultural shock, I could understand that I support and support from the community, from your peers. It's really important for me. So I would say that. And and food as well. Sometimes I miss food, like pão de queijo, like the typical food, and I like pão de queijo. I mean, you can find it here, but it's not easy access, like feijoada and all the typical dishes that you find in Brazil.
There are no Brazilian restaurants in Berlin?
I mean, there are, but it's
not as common, obviously, probably.
Exactly. Yeah. It's different. Of course, you can find it, but it's just different. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm imagining like your first days here, and especially like we say with all those different cultural perspectives, with not really knowing where you're coming from. Tell me, what surprised you when you came to Germany?
I think that the first thing that comes to mind is the seasons, the 4 seasons.
The 4 seasons, okay.
Yeah, the winter, spring, summer, and autumn. You can really feel them, each one of them separately. What's winter, what's spring, what's summer, and what's autumn. And the seasons, they really impact your life. When it's winter, when it's cold, you really stay at home, more at home. You get more, you feel more introspective, whatever. Or and then the spring comes, and then you start to get more energy, and that impacts your whole life. Summer is like, woo, crazy, let's just be out in the streets, blah, 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 it's a party. And then the autumn comes and you start to slow down again. It's really different because in Brazil, I mean, you have the 4 seasons, yes, you do, but it's not that separated, it's not that obvious. Okay,
Yeah.
It's summer, okay, but I thought 6 months ago was summer. No, it's not. It was winter, but it's not that cold. It's different, So
yeah.
I think this really was like surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. In Israel, it's the same. Winter is like 2 weeks. You get like really cold. People are taking all their sweaters, and 2 weeks after, they're like, okay, it's back in the closet, and that they're surprised. Like already, um, um, in Israel, the seasons are the same time as Germany, right? So like winter would be around December, January. February, it's already like warm. It's like you don't really understand. You don't see the shift of spring so much. You do see the growth of plants and so on, but it's still like from temperature point of view, it's already like hot most of the days. Which brings me also to another question, because I know that a lot of people who come from warm countries, just as I do, tend to, especially in the first few winters, to get, could be even deep into depression, or they get it's hard to adapt to this kind of situation when you're coming from somewhere that it's like, I don't know, 9 months out of 12 is hot, and you can go to the beach and you can really be with short clothes. How did you manage to, let's go with, survive the few first winters?
I have no idea.
It's all blurry.
I don't know. I mean, I remember like, okay, the first thought I had, like, okay, I need to find a jacket because I had no jacket. I arrived like in the beginning of autumn, and I was like, oh, okay, I need a jacket. And from there, it was different. Like to manage the darkness and the tiredness, and to like, I think it took me a couple of years to really understand and adapt. Yeah, to feel less depressed, and understand that, okay, this is gonna pass. Spring is on the corner, more or less. Even though it's
Yeah.
still cold and stuff, but sometimes it's hard, but it wasn't necessarily a big deal for me. I know
Mm-hmm.
that for a few people can be, because they're so used to the heat, but for me, it wasn't that hard. It was different, of course, and I needed to adapt, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I need to go back to Brazil now. I'm suffering. I'm dying. I'm no. I actually I like the cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, of course, I love the sun. Love it, especially since I moved here. But like, I also enjoy the cold. It's okay. It's not that, oh my god, I need to run away. No, it's okay. It's fine.
I think you get to appreciate the sun more when you do this shift, right? Because when you come from a warm country, you have that so many days of the year that you're like, okay, another day in the sun. And here, when you have 3 to 6 months that it's not so sunny outside, and you're like, oh my God, the ray of sunshine, just like every other German, I see sun, I come out. It's like the immediate response is to come out, right? So I think this is, it's really,
I'm Germanized in that sense now. Like, oh,
yeah.
the
The
sun. Well, after
sun.
like, I don't know, 5 weeks of darkness. Oh, okay, now the sun is out. Okay, I need to work until, I don't know, 2 p.m. Whatever. Just an example. Okay, now I can enjoy
The
the
rest of the
sun.
time is outside. It's like,
Yes.
you,
This
you,
is, I
you,
think now I'm more Germanized. Yeah, I've become
yeah, you
more.
get to plan your day according to the sun. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna now
Exactly.
work outside. I'm gonna everything is
Exactly.
outside.
Because it goes fast as well. Like, okay, oh my god, the sun is here. But then, like, I don't know, 1 hour, oh, it's already
Yeah,
dark
yeah. You don't know.
and
It's elusive
cloudy, and it's
sometimes.
really
Yeah,
cooler.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We also have we've done it only once, but we plan on doing it way more. We took a vacation in January, right? So it's like the mist of winter after you had autumn as well. So you had enough cold already. For me, it was enough. And we went to a warm country. So that's particular time, it was Tenerife. So basically, it's like the second Germany. So it's like everybody's there speaking German. And we went there, and we were there for a week. It was between 20 to 24 degrees every day. It
Oh.
was perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
then we kind of received some, like, we took a deep breath from the sunny days, and we could hold up the next couple of months until the sun came out also in Germany. So I think a lot of people are learning that this kind of trick is really great. It's very useful. It's not always possible, but it's great. But the funny part was that we landed right into the snow. So it was like a major shift.
How come?
It was like
wow.
we weren't even ready from clothing wise, because when we left, there was no snow, so the coat that we took was not enough. So that was really like in your face smack of snow. So it was kind of crazy. Do you have snow in Brazil? Like, are you used to that, or it was also something that was quite new for you?
No, in Brazil, like more to the south, you have snow a little bit sometimes. Where I come from, no snow at all. But because I came here before, like when I was a little child, I have seen snow before, so it was a nice experience. Like we did when I was little, like a snowball, a snowman, all that stuff. Yeah, I prefer snow rather than rain, for example.
Yeah, me too.
It rains a lot here. My God, it
Yes,
rains a lot in Berlin.
Especially in the summer. You're like,
yes.
That is not expected.
Yes, my God, yeah.
You said that you got Germanized. Can you give me another example to where you got Germanized?
Yes. Right. I've become more punctual, like because Brazilians aren't famous for their punctuality. Of course, there's still room for improvement, but I've become more punctual. I've become more direct as well. So yeah, this is also nice because in Brazil we tend to do like this. We don't say things straightforward. The way we do like this, da, da, da. Yeah, it's not straightforward at all. Yeah. So here you have the right, or the duty to be direct.
Otherwise they don't understand, right? Like you're like, you need to be direct. Yes. They take it very literal. So
yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm enjoying the sun more, like appreciating it more even. Yeah, but I think those two things are the most
Germanized in you.
Germanized, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So I think this is a great time to ask you for a tip for all of the newcomers to Germany. What would be the one tip that you would give to them?
If you want to move to Germany, I would recommend you to have a plan. In the sense, like, you don't have to have everything sorted out, but you have to understand why do you want to move here? Like, what's your goal? I think if you have a clear goal, it helps you immensely with the rest, because that helps you with your inner motivation and everything. Like if you have a strong inner motivation, if you have a goal, that helps a lot with everything.
Yeah, I think this is something that you can say about any big change. When you have a big and clear why, it helps you really with everything that comes with it to overcome whatever challenges that you are going to encounter, which you will in this very major move. You are definitely going to come into challenges points. So have a clear why, says Vass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. No, it's an important tip. I think so. Yeah.
I see a lot of people coming, especially to Berlin, with this, let's see what happens, and they get lost. Berlin is also can be very also tempting in a sense, like dragging you to a hole basically, because it's, like you have everything here from the good and the bad, so you have. That's why I think it's important for you to have a very good, strong why and motivation. Yeah.
Right. And a plan, you mentioned. So it's you get plan. 2 in 1, right? Have a plan, and in that plan, understand your why, and that has to go together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important tips. Vass, thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing, and I had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you for this amazing opportunity. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely.
Thank you.
All the listeners who joined us in this episode, and I hope to see you in the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Why Germany. If you want to learn more about relocation, make sure to visit overtheoffek.com, your relocation experts.